Hello, my loves. There's something that I wanted to share with you because this has happened to me twice this week, and I really feel like it's a valuable and important thing to be noticing and being aware of. I'm gonna come where I can actually see you guys a little bit better. Of course, you got the gorgeous view back here, but can't see me, so I'm gonna be right here. So, what I want you to think about is, are you paying attention? Are you really paying attention to like all the little universal signs that are showing up for you moment by moment? Because what happens is, you know, the universe is always giving us like the next little inch, the next little inch, the next little inch of the direction that we get to go and how we get to flow. And so it's always effortlessly provided to us. And so many times when we're in our own, when we're not open to receiving all the ways it gets to look, we're closing off from being able to have the glorious grandeur of life show up for us. And so before I preface like where this really started, even to stay here, this gorgeous, beautiful estate, this is actually a sacred temple. This is licensed and registered as a temple, beautiful, huge, I mean, a massive ceremony room we've been using all week, and, you know, a whole dance studio and a whole, you know, like gong and just like epic sound healing studio, everything. And even how this showed up. So I want to share with you guys that when I actually, so Amber, my beautiful sacred sister that runs this temple and has this place, I hadn't met or known until physically just barely met her when I arrived here. And when we, what happened was when I was, had the Magical Manifestation Mansion here in San Diego, and I ended up shifting to go to a gym that was closer by, really nice, amazing gym. And when I was there, like first time I was there, I remember seeing this woman that I was just like, like that woman is so like, there's something about her. I was attracted to her essence. And you know, I like men as far as sexually goes. Yeah, I think all beings are beautiful, and I love, like, I'm so relish in the beauty of every woman as well now, because obviously I love myself, so there's no such thing as comparison. And I just was so attracted to this beautiful, glorious woman. I was like, her essence, something about her, I just kept wanting to watch her, and I would like literally be staring at her, checking her out, like just the glory of her. And there'd be times she'd look at me and I'd look up and she was staring at me, and there was always like this like honoring, like relishing in each other, yet we were always kind of far enough away in this gym environment that we never interacted. And there was one time I remember just staring at her and just like, there's something about her essence, there's something about this woman, I didn't know who she was. And we were just far enough away where we made eye contact, and I literally was about to be like, you're beautiful, you know, but it was just awkward and weird, and there's a lot of people in between, and it just, you know. And so what's interesting is I had a lot of people for a while had been saying to me, you get to connect with Amber Hart now, she's this amazing, glorious woman. I was like, oh yeah, cool, sure. I mean, it comes up all the time. People will say things like that, and I'm like, awesome, I'm sure that I'll meet the individual whenever the perfect timing arrives, because I believe that the universe is always fully supporting me, and the universal order guides my steps. So here I'd been having this name come up, didn't know, having this glorious woman. Well, then when I leave the country, I shed everything, the Magical Manifestation Mansion, I go on my journey I'm called to be in my aloneness, going traveling all over the world by myself. And all of a sudden I see some sort of a post or share something that someone did, and there's this picture of this glorious woman. Charles, I'm over here, I'll be there in a minute, I'm doing a video. Charles might join us. So I see this picture of this woman, and I'm just like, oh, that's her, oh my God, that's her. And so she had the same experience, people dropping my name to her all the time, and she had no idea who I was. And then she saw a picture of me when I was gone out of the country, and it was like same thing. Well, then it comes to, as I'm coming back to San Diego to be able to be in my event, the last thing that we left on my schedule for the entire year, I had this feeling, normally my assistants like looks on, you know, finds the most epic, beautiful space for me, and something told me, post on San Diego Conscious Community and just request, like see what's available. So I posted in the community like, hey guys, I'm looking for a space. I'm gonna be back for a month and looking for a space to rent. And her experience was that she never is on Facebook, and all of a sudden she sees this thing pop up, like Marci posted in San Diego Conscious Community, and instantly her body's like, check. And she reads it and she gets this download like, you know, connect with her, offer her the cottage space. So I have this glorious guest house cottage over there, that beautiful space that I have all to myself. Again, like my energy is super sacred. This place is super sacred. And so she's like, I'm going to sit with this, because that's so out of her norm to have energy connect, you know, like she's very sacred in her energy as well. And she sat with it, and then literally said, it just came through. It was like, message her now. So she messages me and she says, this is what's come through. You know, you know, I get to offer you to rent the cottage. And so we ended up jumping on the phone and having a connection. And it was like the soul sister that I was just like in awe of everything, and how then even finding out what she did in these deep immersion experiences, my soul was calling to that. And so literally it's like, if I tried to control in any way the outcome of something, I would never have gotten that near of a grand experience. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have been led to one of my divine sisters. We've had the most sacred journeys and experiences through this week that I was really ready to my body was calling for, and I was ready to allow again. And the reason I wanted to share this, and so you can see how the universe just gives you a little inkling, and when we just, interesting, and we're in curiosity and we're in wonderment. And Amber, actually, when we were in immersion day the other day, she performed for me this beautiful, glorious poem that she'd created that was like from the universe. And it's like, if you have to know anything, just know wonder, meaning like wonder and excitement and curiosity. That is the energy of creation. It's like, if we can dance with curiosity and excitement and wonderment, we always like, ooh, interesting, like, and we're allowing ourselves in what feels good. That's how we get the most glorious, grand, gifts that we could have never tried to figure out with our brain or look for or logically try to control. Control is always controlling you. And the other side to this last piece, that this is actually not this story that even was the reason I turned on the camera. What had come through is twice this week, as I was just working out, I had a lady next to me that was making these comments about, how she was struggling and how, she's fighting her body. And, it kept coming up for me as like, I know that journey, and there's something there that I can support her with. And instead of being like closed off to it, I was like, you know what, sweetie, I'm like, here's the as you mentioned this is what I've been through. And I'm like, here's something that I can offer you or send you to that will give you some insights into how you can stop fighting that. And she was like, oh my gosh, that would be so amazing. And it's like, taking the time for that connection. And then this morning, the lady that I went to boot camp yoga this morning, that ran the class, ended up after, said something to me, opened up a conversation, and I, again, like, ended up guiding her to how she's, pushed herself beyond the limits, trashed her body. And coming from a fitness space, we tend to have been the person who is like, push through, be hard. I used to be the warrior that was in the fight. And then I was like, I don't want to be in a fight anymore. I have no desire to do that. And so are you open to what's right in front of you and how you can serve, how you can lean into the curiosity of it? So it's like, there's two people this week that in a situation where, just because I was open to receive them and hear what they were saying, and the guidance said, say something, support here, I listened to that. And the old me, the human brain, this was years ago, would have been like, oh, you don't want to say anything, that'd be weird. And I even say, hey, I noticed, like, I have no attachments or expectations to this, but from what you said, if you're seeking this, I can share this with you. And I'm following divine guidance. Now, there's been so many times where I was working out in the airport or doing things, just being myself, unapologetically me, and someone would literally come up and be like, I want to know more of what you're doing, and end up in my programs and end up having a complete life shift, all because they followed the divine guidance to ask, and I was willing to go there too. And so just recognize if you're closed off or if you're being open and looking for and allowing. Every little thing in front of you is for a reason. Every single fucking thing is for a reason. Every little thought, every little, idea, etc. When you, again, allow the curiosity of it, you're always going to get the greater gifts, because the universe has the most grandest, beautiful way for you to receive all that you're desiring, versus when in our limited selves and our limited brain and maybe our smaller selves, we don't allow that. So on top of that, I'm going to see if Charles and I are going to rock out some videos, and he just showed up. Charles, where are you? You want to say hi? I decided to share something that was coming through from this morning. The amazing, epic Charles. Da-da-da. It's been a while since we got to hang, right?
I missed you.
We got to hang. I know you missed me, right? We got to
hang
like
almost the whole week or something.
Every single day for a bit, and then you were off and I was off, and so we're going to go do some videos. Sending lots of love and light to you guys. Power of choice is yours. Choose your best life and lock it down.
Ciao for now.
Bing.